view slowly creeps in from the darkening evening sky above the late fall landscape of the southern vale. Hidden amongst the mostly bare trees, we find an opaque brownish gray hemisphere of arcane energy we know to be Stephen's tiny hut, blending into the surrounding landscape. Inside it, a band of companions sitting around their small campsite, having cleaned most of the blood and dirt from their earlier foray into the Red River mine, dispatching the unseen captors of Isabel that awaited them deep within. The evening has been quiet, most everyone taking some time to think on the events of the last day or so, tending to their wounds and preparing for a full party debrief with Isabel. As the sun slowly creeps behind the shadow sets, we watch as Isabel, now clothed back in her normal attire, retrieved from the office of the fiendish Nephis, sits down on a log near the center of the hut. She reaches into her bag, pulling from it a bottle of dark liquid. As the bottle is uncorked, the distinct smell of dwarven fire wine fills the air around her. She takes a shallow gulp, then another, before exhaling a long breath and meeting the gaze of her companions, all of which are awaiting her gaze, or her words. I can speak, guys, it's cool.
First of all, thank you all for coming for me. I am glad we made it all out alive, and sorry for forcing your hand on assaulting the mine. I believe I owe all of you an explanation, not just for my capture, but my whole relation with the unseen. Before I get into my capture, I believe it is important to know a bit about my family. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Isabella Adela Hazel von Amsel-Weiss, the eldest daughter of Albrecht and Evelyn von Amsel-Weiss, the Lord and Lady of the Amsel-Weiss name and estate. My family owned the Amsel Trading Co. It went bankrupt near the end of the incursion, and we nearly lost the estate. And this, in turn, turned my father to dark avenues to keep the family afloat. And by that, I mean the unseen. My first encounter with them was when I met Melkor during the incursion. It was unsavory, to say the least. Nearly cost me and my friend's life. We got out of that situation when I threatened to, and nearly did, cut his tongue off. I saw the unseen on the battlefield from time to time after that, but not Melkor. I did not see him again until after the burning. Speaking of, nearly a year after I returned home from the incursion and the burning, my father offered me a job to work for another noble family in Briarwood House. Richard was looking for a personal family physician. I met with the Lord and Lady of the house, Alfred and Judith. It was a bit of an unusual meeting, but it had been a few months since I'd practiced, and I was eager to do something, anything, instead of indulging in vices and wasting days away doing nothing at home. And Father told me the extra income would help keep the family afloat, so I agreed. The first year was pretty normal, if not a bit uneventful. I should have seen the signs. They hid their true nature from me well enough. One day, Alfred Butchard guided me to a dark room with no windows, a cell. In the corner was a nearly dead man lying in a pool of his own blood. Lord Butchard ordered me to keep the man alive, and so I followed his orders. What else could I do? After I finished, I had a run-in with Melkor, my first since the war. He too was in service of House Butchard. It was then that I learned I was to work closely with both him and another named Pitmaster Gautier. Both were vile and more monstrous than the other. The way they reveled in their work was repulsive to the very core. I confronted my father about what I was being expected to do there, but he begged me to continue. We needed the coin, and the dutiful daughter I was, I continued. I hated every moment of the job from then on. Working with those two seemed to get worse day by day. I became more involved with their work over time. At first, I merely watched the procedures, as they called them, their torturing and questioning of enemies of the unseen. Then they asked for my medical advice for the torturing work. Eventually, they forced my hand to partake in the work as well. I do not wish to recall or repeat any of those specifics, but it did not end there. The monsters of the manor had more they wished to do for their victims and playthings. I began new work, concocting poisons. Some were known, most were experimental. I have no idea how many people were killed by the poisons I made. Many also died by my hand during some of the torture procedures. I believe Melkor and the Unseen wanted to turn me into a monster like them. They treated me like a cruel master breaks in a new hound. They taught me to be cruel. This went on for years. I continued to work for them out of fear for my own safety and the safety of my family. Though I have learned my family has not been harmed, so I have no idea why I spent years summoning the courage to leave, but eventually I did. I confronted my father one last time, only to discover that he knew about it all from the start. After that, I was more determined than ever to leave, but before I could, I was picked up by the Butchards and brought to Captain Silvius's manor, where I was needed for some urgent work, as they put it. Once there, I was stopped by an old dwarf, Cornelius, and was given a scrap of burned paper with words saying that I was to be executed that night by the Unseen. The dwarf asked for my help, even though he did not know me. He had recognized my old white shawl scarf. And with no other options, I helped rescue Stephen and eventually met Anna in the tunnels beneath Briarwood. And as you know, a few days later, our party went north. Melkor and Gautier were monsters in human flesh, vile to the core. The way they took pleasure in giving pain. Let's just say I am glad they are dead. They deserved to be taken down. The amount of pain they caused was immeasurable. They deserved far worse than whatever death we gave them. So, thank you all. Because of you, we were able to remove some rot from this world.
Watch as Isabel shifts her posture and takes another swig from the fire wine. Her vacant eyes stare deeply into the small campfire. She stays there in this stillness for a moment before snapping back to life. She blinks a few times and takes another deep breath. Her eyes wander about those gathered, glancing at each individual before beginning to speak again.
Now, on how they were able to capture me last night. During first watch, I stepped away for a smoke and to take care of business. While out smoking, I decided to send a message to my mother.
As Isabel speaks, the camera shifts to a campsite similar to this one. All but two companions sleep. We see Saru looking over a book given to him by Isabel, who has just made way into the darkness outside the safety of Stephen's hut. We watch as she walks to the edge of the tree line, making sure to stay just within the view of the hut. The inside of the pipe bowl glows red as she takes another drag. She exhales the smoke and holds the pipe to her side. She takes in one more breath before speaking softly aloud to herself.
Hello, Mother? Sorry for the delay. Has anything happened in Briarwood? Are you and the rest of the family still safe? Does Father know?
Isabel closes her eyes and waits, always with the waiting. It eats away at her in this moment of dead silence. The fear of what it means if there is no response rushes through her mind.
Mother, please be alive.
Even though it was only seconds, those seconds felt like an eternity to Isabel, until that familiar warm voice answers within her mind. Oh, Isabel. We are safe in Riverwood. Your father and brother remain in Briarwood. There's been no news or ill tidings from the city. A wave of relief washes over Isabel as she takes a deep breath. A small smile flashes across her ever-stoic face.
Good to hear that Mother's finally took my advice and left Briarwood. So Bastian and Father stayed. That will complicate things when or if I am able to return. I need to return.
The cleric's attention suddenly snaps forward as she hears the rustling of underbrush nearby. We watch as she creeps a few feet forward into the tree line, in hopes of getting a glance to satiate her curiosity. Small game, the wind, anything other than what she was greeted with. For out of the darkness appears a silvery point, the head of an arrow, currently nocked and drawn in an elaborate longbow. A dark-haired man aimed it straight at Isabel's forehead from but a few feet away. Stay still, not a muscle. No shouting. You are now at the mercy of the hunter and the unseen. Isabel nods slowly in confirmation. The man's face caught her attention. There was a strange sense of familiarity.
Damn it. How did I let this happen? Wait.
Isabel thinks to herself as she looks closely at this hunter's face. It's hard to see clearly in this darkness, but even still, the similarity was uncanny. His face a bit thinner, but his features, his hair, his beard, all but the scar upon his forehead.
Could this be Arthur's cousin? What was it? Reuben. Yes. This must be Reuben.
The hunter looks Isabel over carefully, as though he needed to confirm her identity. All right, move into the trees, slowly now. We do not need to draw the attention of those that are oh so safe in that magic bubble of yours. If you try anything, the unseen in the woods nearby will make quick work of your unsuspecting friends. Isabel's mind raced, her thoughts running through the possibilities of the situation at hand. There was no time. She'd have to do something.
So what now?
We will take you and then the boy and vanish as we do.
They are not as weak as you lot think. If you try to take him tonight, it will be a bloodbath. Deaths on both sides. They will fight to the bitter end. I will fight to the bitter end. And you may win, but you also might lose. In fact, I would bet against you tonight. But our victory would not be without sacrifice, likely. Now, I do not think either of us want to die tonight, and it seems to me that both of us also do not wish for my friends to die either, at least, not all of them.
Hunter stops and ponders her words. Looks as though he is about to speak, but Isabel continues, abruptly cutting off any retort the hunter might have been forming.
But if you take me, and only me, and I go quietly, you'll get one of your prizes without a struggle or any casualties. A net positive for you. They will not know who, why, or where. They will be in the dark, and will have no choice but to move on to Kestrel Academy.
Hunter stares at Isabel as she speaks, at first looking agitated, a somewhat familiar look on his Arthur-like face. But at the mention of Kestrel, he seemed to become agreeable. If that was your destination, then everything seems to be in order. Your terms are acceptable. Come along then, this way, quietly, as you said. He motions deeper into the woods. Isabel nods with a semblance of hesitance, not expecting such a short negotiation. What was she missing? She thinks as she slowly walks forward. At least she had time. Maybe she'll be safe for now. We watch as Isabel moves forward into the woods. The hunter grasps at a small pouch on his belt, plucking a few small pinches of dust from within, curiously sprinkling it about the area. As the small particles impact the matted grass and dirt, we watch as the small blades of grass spring back upright, removing all traces that anyone had been moving through the area.
I am dreading this night. Gods, I hope that I made the right decision. Please, no one die.
The hunter spoke only once more before falling silent for the remainder of the trip to the mines. Melkor would be glad to have his little pet back.
They will be there. Melkor and Gautier. I will see to it that they die soon. I should have killed them long ago.
Isabel's thoughts trailed off, and she only looked forward, formulating ideas on how to escape this predicament. And into the darkness of the night and the obscurity of the woods, Isabel and her unseen captors vanished. Not a trace of their presence left to follow. From that darkness, we find ourselves back within the hut. The party sitting around Isabel as she catches them up on her eventful evening.
And in case any of you were wondering as to how I was able to cast these sendings and escape my captors during the assault, Isabel reaches under her scarf and pulls out the holy symbol of Nothkeith. They only took my holy symbol of Helwyn. Melkor was a fool and thought it useless to me. Well, that error led to his death, and nearly everyone else in that mine. Oh, and some of you may have guessed the third sending was set under duress.
He watches Isabel reaches back for the fire wine, take another swig, and just stares into the smoldering embers surrounding the small fire. And my friends, the game is yours. To do with what you will. Obviously, the cinematic was Isabel telling you all what happened in a much more interesting way.
I'm pretty sure I know this answer, but Arthur already knew his cousin was with the unseen, right? That's not okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm really glad Arthur wasn't here. Nick wasn't here for that because, like, right when I got to those lines, I was like, "Fuck me, I don't know how to do that accent." So I just did my classic Michael bad guy accent.
Yep.
And Michael Guard accent, and Michael, just insert whatever accent. So.
Totally quietly laughed to myself when I noticed you didn't try.
I was like, the only like word that I know how to get into it is like if I would be like
Wreckers,
Aldinikin, or like I just can't do it. I really need Nick to say words to me, and then maybe I can do it. But just not
Get you going.
Not off the top. It's just impossible.
Isabel, do you know if he was simply hoping we were leaving, and that's why he was so agreeable, or do you think there might be some other force or enemies waiting for us at the academy?
I think they were already planning on going to the academy. We showed you we found the maps in Nethys's office that seemed to be some sort of plans on assaulting one of the lower levels there.
It also seems likely that Reuben, your cousin Arthur, is the hunter that Nethys's note referenced in going to find the mage, especially since we didn't encounter him in the mine at all.
Yeah.
It's likely he's still out there.
Seems so.
Well, what now of this fellowship?
Alright, so I'm gonna put letters.
See who all came with the hunter?
When they captured me, or took me prisoner, I did not see the faces of any of the others. They put a bag over my head as we got close to the mines as well.
How many notes did I show you last time?
3.
3.
This one?
Which 3? Did I show you the ones that I just put up? I think it should have stacked them.
Yeah, it was those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the letter and then the 2 scrawled.
Here's the third scroll that you guys have. I think. Let me make sure before I share the fucking wrong thing. Well, yeah, okay. It's like you never want to accidentally share the wrong thing. These were all Nethys's office, all in the same handwriting. Scroll. Okay. So what say you?
Well, it feels like we have quite a few options before us. Could continue sequestral as planned. We could look for the mage that Nesseth referenced. Probably sounds like it would probably be on the way to Kestrel. We could go to Paragus, because not only does Roscoe have some hypotheses he needs to confirm, but the fact that it was mentioned in Nethys's note is definitely interesting and definitely seems to warrant a return trip. Or we could return to Briarwood. I can keep talking if no one has thoughts. You know, I can.
Oh, sorry.
I can
I'm rereading the notes.
I can fill dead air like a radio champ. No big deal.
Sorry, we're giving up the ghost on both of us being out here. The AC's too loud.
Fair enough.
Is Nate sacrificing himself on the altar of going inside?
Yes.
What a hero. What a guy.
So I can now be a more productive member of the conversation. Is it just scrawled note 3? Is it the only new one?
Yeah.
You had 1 and 2, I believe.
1,
Yeah.
2, and
Walmart was a fool. Fits like
And one thing I will mention about all the options that I see, transportation will not really be an issue for any of them, depending on what we choose.
Well, the goddess did ask us to head to Kestrel, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't continue. Especially if we think there are still elements of the unseen moving there. Both to meet the goddess there and to deal another blow. If that's where this hunter was headed, I would don't love the thought of knowing that he could be on our back at any minute. He can sneak up on us like that with such ease. I'll kind of like glance over to Arthur, but say it'd be good to be rid of him one way or another.
Maximuckle.
it also might be something to take in the note. I think they had a way to dispel the bubble.
That's what it sounded like, which is confusing.
So that may not be entirely safe for us at times.
So I thought it was immune to magic.
You know better than me, Stephen, but they seemed confident.
They were going to dispel it or disintegrate it.
Well, the snake woman we fought sure was powerful. Maybe she had something.
What does everyone else think?
continuing to Kestrel was the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, Natsuki saved Isabel twice now. We at least owe her a visit. And I don't really know why we go back to Briarwood. I mean, we've already been there. That's old news.
Just unfinished
would-
business.
Lots of unfinished business now that we see Nesseth's letter to the captain.
Nethys.
Nemeth, that's what I call him. To her friends. I, for one, have a mind to either try and deliver the letters so that they're thrown off our trail for a while, or as you said as well, to take care of unfinished business.
I think Briarwood has potential to be like Grey Forge in that once we go there, we may not leave for a while.
Well, this is meta, but our illustrious DM allowed me to, correct me if I'm misunderstanding our conversation from the weekend, Michael, that I'm picking one of my spells based on what we decide, and one of them may be Teleportation Circle, which would open us up to, quickly getting to Briarwood and quickly coming back, possibly. So that is, if that, like I said earlier, if the travel is the concern, we don't need to worry about that. With all the other stuff of Grey Forge, being just a nest of bees and not being able to get out, that I can
Right.
agree with. But the travel itself won't be an issue.
Right. Where do you know a circle in Briarwood to go to?
I was just say, doesn't there have to be a circle for you to
There
go there?
is. Steven would know of one. We'd have no idea whose control it's under, and it's likely it would be under unseen control, because just reading into the text of the letter, it's an urgent letter. It was not going to be just send someone on horseback down and get there in 3 to 4 weeks. I think it's likely would have used the teleportation circle. So could SEAL Team 6 it and just pop up and start blasting away, or could use disguise self and try and deliver it and then immediately leave? Just an option.
Hey guys, I have something I can help. He's been rifling through his backpack this whole time. I've got something right here. And pulls out this, I don't know what it looks like. Michael will have to, or y'all may know too, just thunk. And it's this really elaborate kind of
Smaller stew pot.
yeah, it's a what are they kind of? It's a nesting doll of stew pots. Yeah. It's well, however you describe it, it's like a really elaborate pre-typewriter type of mechanical forgery kit. And he'll say, "Hey, I've got this, and I'm awesome at it. And if you let me see the letters, I can make it say whatever we want. I'm awesome at it, guys. I'm awesome at it. Just saying." He's already, his feelings are hurt that nobody jumped on that within a second.
No. I mean, it's a good idea, but what good is a forged letter if you don't know who to send it to?
Oh, I don't know, but we can make it say whatever we want. Whatever we can trick them into making them think we're zigging when we're zagging.
But who are we tricking?
Them, Saru, them.
But how do we get to them? I feel like you have a half-baked hypothesis.
Hypotenuse.
Hypothesis.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you. It's okay. He'll get it. Be that as it may, two halves of a plan are as good of a whole plan. So if you have half now and a half later, that'll make a whole.
Not if they're the same half.
Don't question his hypothesis.
You want me to write 2 letters?
Vel.
I think we already have the letter that would be needed to trick them, as Nethys was already trying to deceive them.
Oh, I see. Like when 3 rights make a left, but 1 left
Exactly.
doesn't make things right. We just
Sure.
take the 1
Exactly.
left. We're going left. Brasco's proud of
Good to,
himself.
And that'll make them think we're going right.
Well, yeah, because they're looking at us from their direction instead of our direction. Our left would be their right if we're looking at each other.
Well, here, Roscoe. What do you think? What do you think your letter should say, or their letter? It's by you. Let's group think this, just for fun.
Roscoe didn't plan that far ahead. I don't know.
What if you gave them like a grocery list, like for dinner or something?
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. And if they could procure it, we could get a double kind of victory, because if I could get some of those briarwood herbs and spices, I would be able to fix us something up really nice as a victory and a celebration dinner. But I'm just someone who joined the party. I mean,
Well,
If
unfortunately,
we-
I think you're kind of part of this now.
if we manage to find the seal, it is good to know that we can both copy it, bake it, and send a grocery list. Can get
Yeah, I mean,
2 wins there.
I
But
mean, think about it. We send them a grocery list, then we buy us more time because then they have to go shopping.
yeah, well, that's how I used it, is the health inspector would come by and the old turn a C into an A, and you got to post it right there in the window where everybody can see it. And I got an A year after year after year. Wink.
anywho, Xerxes, I don't think you've chimed in. What do you think makes sense next?
Well, I think that we did have a plan to go to Kestrel, and I don't think anything that we've seen here would change that at all. So I would say we go that direction and circle back around to Paragus afterward. Seems like something's going on there we don't quite understand. But something's been bothering me. What does she want with Stephen? Why would she lie to them about his whereabouts?
Anna will glance over at Stephen and say, well, I have a suspicion it's about his ability to manipulate time. I've never heard of a magic like that. And having witnessed its power, and then she'll like kind of glance over to Isabel, especially its power in combination with other magics. I think he's unique in what he can do, or at the very least, very rare. So, I imagine that anyone who can get their hands on him has an
Plus, if
idea
I-
of what you could do. Turn back time.
If I know the captain at all, I imagine Namath's plans were far grander than the captain's, that he probably thought too small for her and didn't intend on sharing. So why share what you can just flat out take?
Hey, Isabel. Can you send a message to anybody?
Anybody that I know.
Is there anything stopping us from sending a message to Lord Briarwood? Or, was it Lucian? Who was the guy that gathered us for our half groups?
Yeah, Lucian.
And warning them of a possible wall breach? And or, I guess, interior coup or something? Save us the trip of having to go all the way down there?
Possibly. Michael? Would Isabel...
Or anybody in Briarwood you trust?
Would Isabel know somebody like that, or know somebody enough to cast sending to them?
Don't know the official wording of sending, but you would have had discussions with Lucian. I don't think there was ever an official introduction with Lord Briarwood. I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
No, he just gave the speech and then left.
But Lucian interacted with you guys.
Just as familiar.
Yeah, Lucian would be definitely familiar. You guys shared conversations, even if you didn't partake like directly in the conversations. He was basically sitting at the table with you guys for a while talking, and then he escorted you all to the wall. So that would be possible.
Could.
Gonna have to brush up on all of my voices. Spoiler alert, they're all the same.
I think Lucian was pretty much
Isabel, are you confident enough in who was a member of the Unseen that we wouldn't be inadvertently tipping somebody off like Lucian? Do we know their inner workings well enough?
I really only saw my corner at the Butchered Estate for the most part. I had never even been to Captain Silvius's place until, well, that night.
That would be my concern as well.
So I imagine that they are much larger than either of us ever saw.
Yeah, we don't know how far the organization reaches, and like you said, Anna, Unseen could be part of them, or at the very least friendly to them. We don't know.
Well, then we don't want to just show up there in a transport circle, right? Because, I mean, if people out here knew who we were, there's a good chance people in there are going to know.
Oh, if we go there in a transport circle, only if that's an act of war. I don't hate the plan in general, but I think we should probably poke around Kestrel at least first still.
No, yeah, I think Kestrel's the first stop. I just don't fully understand why Briarwood is a necessity. We're near Kestrel.
Some of us have a price on our heads, Saru, and I will return. Whether you're with me or not is totally up to you, but I have unfinished business there, and my path leads me back at least one more time.
I agree with Steven.
So, to Kestrel it is, that's fine. It was just an idea.
Anna will sort of look and say, another reason to potentially go back to Briarwood is our enemies seem to be connected. Am I a robot, or can you guys hear me?
We got you.
Okay, good. Is the mind flayers, the brains, being here, connected to the unseen? Anna will look at Sara and say, we have reason to think that, at least suspect the unseen were involved with trying to turn Sara as well.
We'll land in Nomad's letter. She very specifically indicates that the Legion is at the captain's disposal. Now, whether she meant it or not, who knows? But like you said, there's at least some initial connection that he would believe.
wonder if this dreamer is this mind flayer creature that controls Mountain Heart.
I think it's safe
Someone
to
else.
assume so.
Well, at least we have a name. Cavel? Quavel? Caval? Mr. DM, sir?
That's-
Okay.
It's written. I don't know.
Yeah, we've never heard it spoken.
I was pronouncing it Cabal. We'll see.
Your
Either way.
guess is as good as mine. Actually, I think I read it last week, which is a bit of a spoiler alert, I guess. I think I read it aloud. You'll have to check back.
It's important to remember that the armor that we found from the unseen, when we were back in the Hollow, it spoke the words of Lord Briar as we were commissioned. The unseen had been with us since the beginning. Not just Isabel, I guess. Really, the path forward seems clearest to go to Kestrel and find out more from the goddess. Sitting here and twiddling our thumbs will do nothing but lead us in circles.
That would be 4 lefts.
That's four. That's.
So straightforward.
Rest up for the evening and head out again by morning.
Nope. Sleepy time. As sleepy time takes you all. Definitely no watches, just all of you sleeping at the same time the whole night. You're totally safe. The whole cave is dead. It's fine.
No hut.
I think we still have
Yeah,
the
don't even use the hut.
Saru Isabel first watch.
All right, fine. You can take watches, I guess. I'll allow it.
Vasco wants to jump on that Saru and Isabel watch.
Can you throw the map up real quick, Michael?
Yeah, I can take us back to the map. Back to the old Maparoo.
Saru would approach Isabel and ask her, "Did your mom at least get back to you? I hope it was a good message."
Yes, she did. She said she moved herself and 2 of my siblings to Riverwood, out of Briarwood. So hopefully they're a little bit safer now.
Well, good. I'm happy for you. Is that brother you mentioned a long time ago with her, or is he somewhere else?
Which
I don't
did
know.
I mention a long time ago?
I don't know.
There is a brother that stayed behind.
The one that likes music?
I don't think any of my brothers care too much for music. Oh, the one I said that would like the game you tried to get me to play one time.
Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe it was the chess game.
Yeah, he should be there. Otto.
Well, I'm good. I'm glad that they're still around. Oh, and here's all your stuff back. I tried to keep it as neat and tidy as possible after you left.
Thank you. I'm guessing you made use of whatever you need to make use of.
It was really just the potions, and then I have this little smoke ball. I don't know if you want it back or not.
You can hold on to it for now.
And then, yeah, I've got your medicine book and your herb identification book. I don't know if you need the herb one back yet.
Are you finished with either?
Probably not. But I don't want to deprive you of your note taking, although I can't imagine there's much to see in the cave.
Right, not much. I will come get them when I need them.
Sure. Roscoe, how's that shopping list?
Roscoe is gonna. Were you guys talking like you can make that around Roscoe or not around Roscoe?
No, yeah, it was just out in the open.
Roscoe wants to ask a question to both Saru and Isabel. Not the same question, but it's just very nice that they're both here. Saru, you luminescent lodestone, you're always full of such frivolity and cheer. Can I ask you, what was up with that hug in the cave?
What hug? With Anna and Isabel?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just happy that we got Isabel back. And I was happy that I was able to help Anna do so.
Oh, I thought I saw some somberness there, but it was joy.
Well, of course it was. I saved one of my friends.
Well, that fits much more with what I was expecting. I guess I convinced myself that something was there that wasn't. I tried to put some sadness on you, and there was no sadness there. You know, the mind is a powerful thing. Very powerful thing. Have you ever noticed when you look at the blood in your veins, it looks blue from the outside, but when you see it on the outside of your body, it's red? It's because of the power of the mind. He looks over at Isabel to see if Isabel will respond to that.
He looks over, gives a harsh glance, and then goes back to whatever she was doing.
See, you see, Saru, there. Let me explain the science behind that.
But I don't
Because
know, in this book right here that Isabel wrote, it says it's because of the air.
there is some air to that, but the main reason is the power of the mind. You see, a long time ago there were 3 adventurers, and one of them told the other one that it was because there was iron in the blood was the reason that it was red. So he cut his arm, and the blood that was blue inside of him came out over the iron sword, and due to the iron on the blood, it turned red. And the next guy did it too, and his blood that pulled out over the iron sword, it also, would you believe, turned red. And then the third guy didn't see the whole thing. He stuck himself with a wooden stake.
I bet it was purple, wasn't it?
No,
No?
it was red. Because
What?
even though he didn't put the iron there, it was the power of the mind to
Isabel,
manifest
can you believe
things.
this? 3 people hurt themselves, all of them bled red blood.
Well, that's just science. It's just science. I mean, some people say it's just my opinion. You know, it's not a fact. They say, Roscoe, it's your opinion. The funny thing about opinions, those all started a few hundred years back too. 2 hunters, Saru, you're going to appreciate this. 2 hunters, you look like a hunter, shot identical arrows at a large bird at the same time. And as they approached the filled bird, which had 1 arrow protruding from its body, each hunter claimed the kill. Not being able to agree, they went to the tribal lord to settle the dispute. The tribal lord heard their stories and asked for further proof. The first hunter produced a large feather from the wing of the bird. The second hunter produced an equally large feather from the wing of the bird. The tribal lord thought for a moment and declared, I cannot make a decision. There is no proof. You have opinion, and you have opinion. You'll just have to agree to disagree. And that's how opinions were invented and became fact. That's how people try to discredit me. But I know that I'm right about the blood. Right, Isabel?
I do not even know where to begin.
I'll help you get started at some point. Can I ask you something, Isabel?
Or
How did it feel to make the world a better place, to make the world a better place, to kill those men? How did it feel? And he got somber like all of a sudden.
felt good to kill Gautier.
If given the same choice, you would do the same thing?
Maybe a different way.
I didn't see it all, but it seemed like it needed to be done. I'm glad I'm with you guys. I think I'll stay a little longer.
You're certainly welcome. Although, come over here for a second. Maybe you'd be interested in a game.
I love games!
Just as a heads up, Isabel is a very good medicinal person. You might just be a little careful talking about that stuff. I think she was about to have a migraine with the whole blood talk.
Oh,
I'm not saying
a bit
you're
of a
wrong.
weak stomach. She has a bit of a weak stomach for
No,
blood.
she has a I've seen her do some really weird things to some zombies and stuff. She's just very strong-minded in her sciences, kind of like you, but very stern.
Got it. I totally understand. I know lots of people who won't incorporate new information into their worldview. Read you loud and clear.
Well,
I'll keep my facts and our opinions to ourselves, or myself, as it were.
Start with yourself now. Have you ever played chess?
Chess?
Yes.
I think I've seen it played in the old, whatever the name of that restaurant I worked in.
Well, if you've got
Steaming
some time,
Coney and the Steaming Coney. Plenty of people play in the Steaming Coney.
Ah, yes, with your conies. Well, if you have time, I could set up it and we could walk through the pieces.
You got a friend and a partner in me, Saru, but I must warn you, I get a little competitive.
Little competition never hurt anybody. Hi, Nick.
Hi guys.
Welcome.
Spent an hour and a half digging in the dirt, trying to solve a sprinkler malfunction.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The only thing you missed was Michael's flawless accent with your cousin. That was the only thing you missed.
With my cousin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was perfect.
it was
Spoiler
perfect.
Was it
Nailed
a flashback?
No, it happens like real life. You're dead now, and Ruben is a part of the party.
Oh, you saved it.
Yeah. He had one condition that you were dead, and you were like, well, okay.
Anybody
as-
else's Roll20 function?
Yeah, it's been a little wonky for me, at least.
Can't get it to not pixelate. Unpixelate.
Well, maybe that's just the way
There it
things
goes.
are now. As Dragon Chess goes into the evening, we're going to take our 8:05 break and just let Nick think
Nice.
about why I was doing Ruben's voice so flawlessly earlier. Because it was flawless. Don't listen back. Don't listen back.
We haven't left the cave though, right? Or no, we left the cave and we're camping
Yeah.
outside of it.
We left the cave. Isabel gave in a Connor Moylan Vanity Project recounted what happened. She gave some background on herself as far as like how she got connected to the unseen. Way back when. Then she recounted how she was captured. Your cousin Ruben, she believes, came out of nowhere from the woods when she had left the bubble to take a smoke and threatened her and said, we're going to kill you, we're going to kill all of you. And she managed to convince him that to take just her, since we'd probably kill him if they tried to attack the bubble. And that's surprisingly agreed, and that's why we weren't able to find any trace of Isabel, like when we went to her little smoking area, because he had some dust, and I'm guessing cat was casting Pass Without a Trace or something. That made it pretty undetectable for us to follow the trail.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Did I miss anything Bartlett?
No, I think, yeah, biggest thing was she was captured by her cousin.
Yep.
And apparently they had a total ambush waiting to attack all of us in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And she had refused or attempted to do anything crazy.
Yeah. Which is concerning, considering we're supposed to be safe at the moment.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we talked about how it could probably be dispelled, at least out of game. I don't know what knowledge base is in game. Because I think we had that discussion back in the Mountain Heart Cave hallway thing. Because that was our big concern, was if something
Right.
dispels it, then we're stuck in a hallway, potentially surrounded.
Yep, you are right. Yeah, so she told us that. We talked a little bit about where we wanted to go, and it sounds like our plan is still to go to Kestrel. Stephen had indicated, and Isabel had both indicated a desire to return to Briarwood. They both have some unfinished business they'd now like to give some attention, but Kestrel is the way.
Nice.
Every time Will starts talking, I never know if he's just gonna go and go and go and go, or if I should like stop and interrupt him, or if he's actually gonna stop. Because I'm like,
Usually he'll stop if
just
somebody
gonna keep
stops
going?
him. The dangerous part for me is that,
he
like, if
looking for
nobody
a
ever
spot?
stops him and I run out of stuff.
Well, that's what, yeah, because I'm
Uh.
like, is he wanting someone to interrupt, or is he just talking to be like, "Wah!" I'm just like, well, I'll pipe in when I can. It's great fun, though. To everyone else's dismay. Of
Isabel
you
hates it,
talking about. I know Isabel. I'm just,
but
well,
I
think
find it quite
everybody-
enjoyable.
Oh, I think it's enjoyable, but I think everybody eventually is sitting there like, shut up. We have a game to play. Stop talking about.
Yeah, that was the bonus
I'll
of
keep
Isabel
going.
being out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I figured you were doing, just to like get under her skin, or at least just, well, because you haven't interacted with her at all. Like, this is your first Isabel experience, so you have no
Yeah.
idea.
I love the picture of Roscoe instructing Isabel in the ways of science.
So I was like, it's in her book. It's right here. She wrote it. I promise you. She knows what she's doing.
Nick, I feel like maybe you're the only one that would appreciate the second quote that I threw in there.
Monty Python quote?
What are you talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
Nick is by far the biggest fan, I think, of Monty Python in the group, but I
Is he?
definitely think so.
I don't know that I would.
I didn't know he was a big fan of it.
Oh, I do enjoy it. I've seen. I mean, The Holy Grail is what I've seen the most, but I've seen other such hits as What's a Pigman Doing on the Telly. Standing. I love that one a bunch.
Like the pet store with the dead parrot. It's pining for the fields.
Fuck sprinkler systems. Ugh.
Was it self-installed?
No. Well, so it was installed 22 years ago, and when I went to fire it up this spring, 3 weeks ago, or whatever it was, the backflow preventer valves had rusted, so I couldn't get them to function. So I saw cut water from the street to my house and removed the backflow preventer, replaced it, PVC welded the pipe back in line, tried to fire it up, system wouldn't work. checked what was going on. Master Solenoid had died, so I replaced the Master Solenoid. I got Zone 1 to work, but 2 of the heads blew out, so I replaced those heads. I got all the way to Zone 7, then it stopped working. Replaced the Master Solenoid at Zone 7. Then the whole system stopped working. The controller had died, so I replaced the controller for an extra couple $100. Then everything had been functioning for weeks, doing just fine. It last ran Sunday, because I checked our ring system, and I saw that it ran at 4 a.m. on Sunday, so it was working fine. Ellen was saying that the flower beds probably needed a little bit more watering, so I was trying to be cool and like, look how cool I am. I did a whole sprinkler system. I'll just press a button and show you Zone 2 light up. So I hit Zone 2 and like nothing's happening. I'm just like, fuck. So then I run in and I start to like do wire testing and things like that. And by that point, I had already gotten into it where something is wrong. Zone 7 and 8, which are the farthest down line, function just fine. But I pulled all the wiring and I was checking other wires within the different zones. And if I take the Zone 1 wire, which Zone 1's not functioning, and I put it into Zone 8, it doesn't function still. If I take the wire out, put the Zone 8 wire back in, it functions. So it means it should be a Zone 1 solenoid issue. I go back, I test the power at Zone 1, and the solenoid fires just fine. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not a master issue, because Zone 7 and 8 are getting the juice. But it's like, they're not super complicated, but they're super complicated.
If it's any consolation, Nick, I too also have no idea what's going on. So we're together in all of that. I heard everything you said. You're breaking it down. I'm mapping out my brain, and I've got nothing. So it's not you. It's the sprinkler system.
Wow.
I blame Ellen for planting. Yeah, I blame Ellen for planting flowers in Zone 2.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, there you go.
If I could just get Zone 7 and 8 to cover my entire yard.
Yeah, just put all the things that need water in Zone 7 and 8.
And here's one of the shittiest things. So there's like little, where the solenoids are for each zone, there are these little boxes with green lids, and you pull the lid off and you can access the solenoid. I know where 4 out of the 7 are, because Zone 4 doesn't work, so I don't care about that one. But I know where 4 of the 7 are. There's 3 boxes that I don't know where they exist. So if those truly are bad solenoids there, I have to like crawl inch by inch in my yard to find the boxes.
Yeah.
I'm old, Gandalf. I may not look it, but I feel it.
Shit. And did somebody catch Nick up on what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Great.
Good enough. You got the highlights.
Perfect.
Can I roll health?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thing?
I think I'm gonna be at level 6 ranger now.
He meant what's your hit die?
Oh, I'm sorry.
D12?
D20?
Yeah, it's a
D30?
D hundo. I think it's a D88.
10.
42.
I still want Nick to roll that D100 though.
Yeah, Nick, it's D100.
1.
Alright, did you guys all roll a D100?
No, it's you, so we're expecting like a 5.
That's bad. D10, nice. Okay.
D10.
100. Here you are.
Hey.
Boom.
Solid C minus.
Level 6. Nice. I get favorite enemy and natural explorer improvements.
Lame.
Well, I mean, favorite enemy could be cool if we actually fight your favorite enemy.
Ooh,
Oh, I choose additional favorite terrain types. Cool. Okay.
only a 5 for me. Only a 5 for me, Bob.
Choose additional favorite enemy. Nice. That's exciting. No.
Good. If they match, they should
Wasted it
double.
on the 70.
Reroll if they match. Is that how it works?
No, if they match, they should be double. I'm
Oh,
gonna push that
yeah. I
really
like
hard.
Preston's.
If they match, then it's double.
Neither are true. Neither are true. We did talk about the Grant Berger rule, but never put it into effect. So. Maybe after level 10. The game might change.
Okay, plus 7. Cat has to roll 2, by the way.
Cat does have to roll. What is Cat's already got so much HP. He's got more HP than Sara, I think.
He's a beefy boy. It is a D8.
Plus 7? Oh my god.
Just a little bit stronger.
Oh my god, you guys. I never want any less health.
You have the perfect amount of health?
I have
Do you
the
have
perfect amount of health.
Do you have 69 health as well?
I do.
Yeah!
Wow.
Here we go.
All right.
Cat has a measly 55.
All right. Chaps. The morning comes. Patch? What are these patches? Sometimes things just show up.
You guys think I should choose Celestials as my favorite enemy?
Absolutely.
Not yet.
That'd be helpful to my
Hold
cause.
that one in case we
Do
maybe
you think it would be helpful?
demons? Or like aberrant things?
Fiends.
I can do Fiends. You want me to do Fiends?
Stuff we've been fighting, so it makes sense.
Okay, I'll do Fiends.
Flares.
Should I do Deep Speech or Abyssal?
Aberrations.
Ooh, a new language, huh?
Abyssal's the one that they chant in the cave, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Abyssal.
Yeah.
Noise. And Mountain.
Favorite terrain, mountain art.
I just assume it's the north.
The north. Everywhere's the north. That'd be good.
Hey, I do have a question though. Does Cat get +2 to any other stuff at level 8?
What do you ask?
Does he get the level 8 bonus?
Like his like proficiency bonus?
At like levels 4, 8.
His
Ability score.
To his
Yeah.
ability score. Let me look at Cat.
He's not very strong.
I feel like he should get something.
I mean, he's got a +2, +2, +0, -4, +2, -2.
He's a familiar, right?
He's a dumb boy.
Is
Yeah.
it? Wait,
Basically.
is it 8 in Ranger or 8 overall?
That's a good
I
point.
don't-
Fine.
I don't think they technically level. Looks like they're supposed to level
Uh,
the advancement table.
Croft, I think it's 8 overall, but let me check the multi-class rules.
I just have not looked at any of the Beastmaster stuff, so I have no idea.
There's supposed to be a familiar advancement table in the wizard class description.
He's not
I've-
he's not a familiar. Not technically.
Yeah, I have no idea which Beastmaster stuff you're using either, because there's like 3 different ones.
I'm using the one that Michael sent me in a text a long time ago that I never saved, and so I have to go diving way into the text thread.
Yeah, you could give him a +2 to something. I feel like
I've
that seems
been-
fair.
I've been nerfing Cat to this point. 'cause I
Yeah,
don't
he's
wanna
been
cheat.
nerfed to all hell already. So.
I mean, like last combat was one of the first combats that he's actually been involved in. I think he's only been involved like actually swiped at 2
Like
or 3 combats. Yeah.
He has murdered 2 people, I think. Yeah. What are you gonna put his plus in? I can edit it.
Sorry.
I think his claws use strength.
I think you're right.
So they
Yeah,
would-
we'll just do strength. Dual strength.
be. Yeah. Maybe he gets a multi-tech one of these days too.
Think of it as
Proficiency
intelligent.
bonus is always based on your total character level.
That part makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the all other links from outside the battle to help, like a summoner.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's called Pack Minded. Look it up.
Go.
I love it. All right. Well, we'll talk about more things that maybe Cat can learn as you travel. Because yeah, why the fuck not? I'm down with that.
I think it truly is though. Like you have to be like a level 8 ranger to get an 8th level bonuses. Because I think that's the case. So I'm Ranger 6 Fighter 2. So I don't think until I get to Ranger 8 or Fighter 4 I get anything.
That's correct. It's on to whatever class you choose.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
how it
sense.
was. That's how it was with Kiwi.
But Cat is nothing but Cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cat's a strong boy.
Yeah,
He's thinking about multi-classing now.
He's a strong boy, and everybody's happy about it, especially Cat, because he might be able to do some more kills.
Our whole party needs magic, so I just think he needs magic as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if you run into any stairs. Let's see if Cat can go down those. That's glass cannon joke for you. All right.
ERB. Sorry, I haven't had a drink today,
Your
and
magic
I can
is
feel the shakes coming on.
Yeah, you better plug in. Gotta keep the drinks flowing.
gotta keep the beer coming.
All right, so your plan is Kestrel, yes? Is that what I?
Aye, Captain.
I'm not this captain. I'm not the conductor of this train. I only build the rails. Wait, what? All right.
Wait a minute. In that case, no. We'll go into Great Forge.
Voice is yours. All of your spell choices and such, all of your prepared spells and such, good to go, everyone?
Yep.
Could I spend the night making bullets there?
Yes. And polishing your horns. Do what it is you need.
Not yet, but I'm finishing dishes. Then I'll lock that in my goal.
All right. Better hope there isn't a combat by the time you're done, because then you're gonna have to have it locked in already. Beautiful. Alrighty then. So you wake up in the morning. State. Would you look at that, boys? A new month is upon us. We move on to the first, the rotting of Heliac. The air is still, and the light rain falls. Love it. After the better part of a day of travel, you kind of start approaching what is the base of kind of the Shadowset Mountains in the Kestrel Valley. This area is pretty well forested for a while and then starts to open up as you get closer and closer to the Kestrel Stair, which isn't so much a staircase exactly, but it is a large pathway of switchbacks that kind of cuts up the mountainous landscape leading up to Kestrel and the Kestrel Academy, which is kind of built up a pretty good ways up into the mountain. Isabel would know that it takes a good couple hours to hike up there, but the path is fairly easy. This isn't scaling the cliff walls in the Valley of Mountain Heart. There's no climb checks unless things have changed along the path. It's exhausting. It's long. It's hiking, but it is not by any means like a climb that you need gear or anything like that for. But to get to kind of this base area, still kind of within the trees, it takes the better part of the day. So it's kind of up to you if you want to go up this thing as the sun is setting, making it there upwards to the top, like before nightfall. If you want to rest here, go up in the morning. It's up to you, but your trip here was uneventful, easy. Just kind of a little foray through the woods.
We gathered those maps that were in Nethys' office, right?
Yeah.
Did any of them show any secondary entrances to the academy?
So all of the maps seem to be just kind of like the just general like main area. There was a few maps that kind of went in through the front, just like with the arrows and shit. It all seemed to be focused on one specific area, which Isabel kind of knows as like the entrance to the lower crypts. She would know at one point like there was the study of like necromancy down there, as far as like magic schools, but also I mean she would have been down there from time to time, just studying like skeletal structures of dead humanoids and all types of stuff like that. I mean, the Jade Archive would have had a small area down there where they would have studied it as well. But yeah, all of the maps, and just with your knowledge of the academy, like, and having been down in that area, it all seemed to be kind of focused around the crypts.
Okay. Good to know. Well.
Guys, think. Sleep. Climb. Turn around. Go somewhere else.
It doesn't seem particularly wise to show up in the evening. Say, wait at the base and wake up early.
Let's wait at the base because Steven could use Arcane Eye as we're bedding down, just to see, if we get any like, oh, this is clearly an enemy stronghold now, or like, oh, this is clearly friends here, or just abandoned, just to see if we get any obvious clues or signs.
I like that idea too. It's not like we'd gain any bonus sneaking up in the night. If anything, we'd be sneaking in the night into unfamiliar territory. It's not like they'd be any more prepared for us in the morning than they would be tonight. It's not like they're expecting visitors if they haven't had any in whatever number of years.
Yeah, and that's assuming. I'm sorry if I missed it. Do we even know there are people there?
When Arthur did the flyby
in the letters
on the dragon, he saw like humanoid-esque shapes
Okay.
that were not Michael. correct me if I'm
Petrified?
Wrong. Yeah. I
Gotcha.
think that's the gist that he got. He hasn't seen the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, but that's the feeling he would have gotten had he seen or read the book.
Gotcha.
The lion, the hag, and the so
Is it Perseus or Pericles?
Perseus.
Perseus. Perseus. Pericles. You mean Patroclus?
No, Pericles. Sorry, I don't mean to derail us.
Catricles.
He's a Greek statesman, man, general of Athens.
Yeah, that's him.
Nailed it.
Him.
He was influential,
So we-
particularly during the Greco-Persian Wars.
The Greco-Gorgon Wars.
So we're good to stay the night.
Yeah. Is there any sendings we want to send? While Steven does Arcane Eye.
How far is Arcane Eye travel?
We decided it was a couple miles.
Be difficult to do that from here. To get to the you could probably go up a good ways, but to get to the academy, it's pretty high up there.
I'm doing calculator just in case I'm misremembering.
While he's doing that,
3 miles and change.
You might be able to get there with 3 miles.
See the
I'm
entrance at least.
Yeah, I'm down to at
Pretty
least
high up
try
there.
it. Yeah, even if it's a pretty low percentage, I'm down to 1/4 level used today is fine.
Yeah, the hard part is just you got to kind of follow the path up.
Yeah, find it.
But it's possible.
Sorry, Nate, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I need to start working on black powder to make more bombs. So I'm spending the evening working on black powder.
Great.
See you in a week.
Need bullets. Gun fires too fast, kills too many enemies. Need more bullets.
The fact that I only have 2 batches of black powder makes me nervous. So
Well, somebody shouldn't have poured a bunch onto a teleportation circle and blew it up.
did it work?
Who's to say?
Well, he did kind of. You did kind of tell us.
We'll never know.
It worked.
We'll actually know pretty soon.
No way to know.
Isabel would also work on potion stuff.
Excellent, Arthur.
Perfect. Arthur will file cat's claws.
He's got his mortar and pestle.
Roscoe, what's for dinner?
Is Fent still with us? Because I'm feeling like the combination of Fent and Roscoe's stew pot is what this party is waiting to have had happen this whole time.
Who's to say at this point? I mean, sure, you never know when Amanda comes back. It's the
Sleeping
moment
outside.
the moment I say that Fent isn't with you is the moment that Amanda comes back, and I'm like, Fent's dead. I'm so sorry. He died in the hollow. waiting for your return. Yeah, Fent. Yeah, might as well. He's around. He's fishing, but he's around. All right, Steven, you're sending the eye up?
Yep. Do you want me to actually try and find something on a map, or do you want to just roll dice? How do you want to do it?
I'm gonna have a couple dice rolls. Give me 3 separate D100s for reasons.
Reasons.
Solid. All right. Okay, Steve-O. About halfway up, and it's like a 30-foot radius around the eye. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So about halfway up, as you're kind of cruising up the path, cutting corners as you are able to, because you have the eye, kind of shaving some time to get up there. You do see something of interest.
Tell me more.
Kind of takes you by surprise, as you've been traveling up this kind of winding rocky path. It's not in the best shape. The foliage and shit is kind of overtaking some areas. Obviously, it's late fall at this point, so the trees in the area are pretty bare. But it's just kind of rocks and dirt, and not really like upkept to be like a well-traveled path. There is maybe some sign that it's like still kind of beaten down, or just still beaten down over kind of the many years that it had been before. But kind of taking you by surprise as it comes into your view, there is kind of a little off to the side of the path, but still kind of within your radius. You see a figure lying prone off to the side, kind of in the grass. But this isn't prone as in lying in wait, and you kind of immediately note that. It's prone because it's either asleep or it's dead. And so this is just at the edge of your vision at this point.
But it's off the path, you said.
Just a little ways off the path, yeah.
I'll pause for a moment and go towards it. What would you like? Would you like perception? Would you like investigation, or do I just see?
Yeah, you start to see at first, because as you move closer, you see more bodies lying prone. Two of which...
Sorry, you cut out for a second. You said I see more bodies.
You see more bodies, yeah.
Okay, sorry,
first you see one, then you see a second, then another. A group of them. The two kind of that stand out are these knights in dark black armor, and they're not sleeping. They have wounds, arrow wounds, and as you kind of get closer and start to see the lay of the landscape, the eye, I believe, does it have dark vision?
Yes.
I think it does. The dark vision is kind of like slowly taken over by this glow. You see this glow kind of amongst them, coming from a tree nearby off to the side. This greenish glow that's kind of illuminating the area once you enter the vision. So there are 8 prone bodies, 2 of which are knights in dark armor, and then kind of off to the edge of your vision is this kind of greenish glow coming from this tree.
Unseen dark armor?
Yeah, as you kind of get in there closer, kind of looking over these, yeah, it is unseen dark armor. And you can see that there is a few arrows kind of wedged pretty deep between some of the soft spots in the armor.
What about the other figures? What are they wearing?
Generally, kind of travel clothes. They don't look too unlike the clothes of the people that you kind of encountered in the mine. You see a couple of them have short bows, swords at their sides, and a couple of them that are face up do have this carving in their forehead, these scars that are familiar.
Can I'll pause for an extra 30 45 seconds if that's what it takes. Can I see, are the prone figures breathing? Like, I'll focus in on one, looking for the chest moving up and down or something.
Yeah, as you look for the chest movements, you don't see them breathing, and if you get any closer, you can kind of start to find these red stains kind of amidst their sides, and a couple of them do have arrows, kind of just like perfectly placed among like their soft organs that keep them alive.
Okay. Interesting. I will keep going up.
As you continue, you eventually, probably nearing the end of your hour here, start to crest over the top portion of the ledge, which is where the Kestrel Academy is. Let me read the description. So yeah, as you kind of crest over, what you get is it feels like the area before you is kind of like large. You can immediately get that sense just because the flattening of the earth. So even within that 30-foot radius, you immediately sense that there's a difference. Right kind of at the top of the switchbacks is this kind of stone archway that reads Kestrel Academy kind of across the archway. And as you kind of move inward beyond that, you get the sense that you're in kind of this courtyard area, as there is a lot of like not cobblestone, but like stone bricks kind of in the ground, like large pavers, and that there's a pretty good amount of foliage here, though the trees in the immediate area have dropped their leaves at this point. And kind of as you slowly start to move in, you do see a few figures kind of at the edge of your vision. First one, and as you move further, then another. But as you may have anticipated, these figures do look more kind of frozen there, stone-like. And as you approach one, kind of moving closer, you see it is a human man, arms kind of just like extended outward, and just incredibly detailed stone sculpture. Wearing clothes, also, stone, like all of his things, stone. And it's just kind of like standing there. So that's what you see.
Are there any crenulations?
You can't see them because you'd have to get closer to the building for that.
Oh, even closer. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, with you have this kind of 30-foot radius, so you can't see out beyond that.
I just didn't know, since seeing the word Kestrel, didn't know if that was like off to the side I might see, but it sounds like I'm out of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of as you're moving through, that's kind of the extent of this one.
Okay. All right, well, everyone, there were some unseen on the path on the way up. It looked like 2 were still alive, but they were wounded, and it only seems to reason that the attack would have come from above. They were shot with arrows. I don't know where else it would have come from, so perhaps it was some inner dispute amongst the unseen, or there is some sort of friend, or at least enemy of our enemy, that we'll find tomorrow.
Well, that sounded like a metronome.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
Is that coming from me?
I don't know. That was weird.
I don't know.
It didn't like highlight, so I couldn't tell where it was coming from.
No
It did
idea.
sound like a metronome. Though. It was like beep, beep, beep.
Thought it was P. Diddy over there mixing up some beats.
Yeah. All right. So anything else tonight, gents?
Yeah, Anna would like to go talk to Isabel before we bed down. So she's like, you know, so I imagine that like Anna was hanging around by Steven while he was doing his eye stuff to like jot down anything just in case it was like last time. And after that, she went over to Isabel before totally wrapping up and kind of just goes up and sits next to her for a second and goes, so these new to me powers that you've been showing off, they look like powers of the enemy. But did you learn them from the unseen? Or have you been learning them on the road?
I did not learn them specifically from the unseen, but I can make a guess that my tenure with them might be the origin of them. As in, that is where at least what I feel when I cast those spells. It's the same sort of feelings I feel towards them. So,
Are you going to limit yourself? You were the pacifist at first.
I've only been trying to be a pacifist. I failed that years ago, in reality. But I will use them as long as I need to. And hopefully one day I will not have to need them anymore.
Anna will sit there and pause and sort of say, and then she'll like look down at her own arm and kind of like look back at Isabel and say, I'm not going to tell you not to use everything you have at your disposal. Only because I have literally no legs to stand on. Just be careful. There are some fights not worth winning in. We reach the end of wherever our story goes and there's nothing left of any of us. If we all go the way of Clavius one way or another, well, I don't think it'll have been worth it. So, if you need to use them sparingly or take a break because of what it's doing to you, you're a hell of a... You're still hell in a fight, even if you aren't fighting as well. So, don't think because you have them, you have to use them. And then Anna will pause, and then go. And can you show me what you're doing?
Yes. Yes, I can. And thank you for bringing me this concern. Let me, and Isabel will flip open one of her books. I've already tried to start taking some notes on how they might be useful for the arcane persuasion, to at least get you started off. But there might be a couple you may be able to learn as well.
Cool. I've got some ideas for some future reflavoring spells, but I think I needed Isabel to teach me. So, thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Hey, Roscoe.
Yellow.
Since you seem to be such an eager scientist, I was wondering if you'd be interested in learning the hypotenuse.
Always interested in hearing other people's hypotenuses.
Excellent. Well, I've acquired many hypotenuses over the last year or two. One in particular I thought you might like is the ability, a hypotenuse that lets you stop another spell. That, you know, if you were wanting to play a great joke on a friend at the bar who's using Mage Hand to steal all your drink or your delicious stew, you could use this hypotenuse to stop the magic right in its tracks.
Oh, if that were only so, but what you're describing is impossible, because I've never seen it.
Oh, why don't you try and cast something at me right now? Well, let me demonstrate this hypotenuse.
Level 7, Finger of Death.
Let's see what would be the most fun. We'll just.
Excellent. As you're doing your hand thing, Stephen will kind of snap his fingers, and you know, as the little missiles are leaving your hands, they just and fizzle into nothingness.
Extraordinary! Stephen, I think you're the greatest wizard that ever lived.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Roscoe. Even if that were true, it's my duty to teach others great hypotenuses, just like you've already taught us some.
That's just what the greatest wizard of all time would say. So humble.
Well, it'll take some time to learn this hypotenuse and copy it down, but I'm happy to walk you through it.
And there'll be a whole thing where Roscoe asks us to see his forgery kit for it, hoping to get to use it. But Stephen
You could definitely use part of your forgery kit. Yeah, you could copy it exactly as I have written.
And so he'll be thrilled about that and want to show that off to everybody. And he feels like if he does that task successfully, he'll get to do the Nethys letters. If he could get Stephen's stamp of approval.
Absolutely.
But Will doesn't know what's involved in copying a spell.
It's going to take 6 hours and 150 gold. Does not have to be done all at once. So, you know, we want to, if say on your watch you want to chip away at 2 hours or something like that, you know, do that, then we pick it up the next day or whatever.
Yeah, we can just say I take Stephen's watch for the next 3 days.
Excellent. Love it.
Anything else? My lovelies? Big? See you. Let me hit this button. Still raining. So you wake up the next day. Still rains in the Kestrel Valley. And another day into the rotting as you begin making your way up the mountain. Anything specific that anyone wants to do as you're heading up the mountain or up the switchbacks, as it were?
Just keeping a lookout.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's definitely something or some things up there, so all should be ready.
And Michael Lunas is back
Oh
for
shit.
him to be annihilated in one form or another.
Fuck that
By the
owl.
end
I'll
of the day.
kill that owl. I'll kill that owl. Make it spend 25 gold pieces to bring him back. Or
Yes, it's a
whatever.
good it's a good strategy to get rid of gold.
It's the only
kill the owl
way
every
I know. Kill the owl. I have to do it a lot. I'm gonna have to do it a lot.
I was tempted to send Lunas through a pitch. Let's send Lunas through the teleportation circle. That's how we'll deliver that letter.
Wow, is he a creature? Can we do that? I don't even know. That sounds awesome.
I don't know. I think I'd have to.
sounds
I think I'd
cool.
have to. Yeah, I think I'd have to unsummon him and then resummon him if we go through teleportation circle. That'd be my guess. Get shunted in the Feywild and come back.
All right. So running up the switchbacks, yelling at the top of your lungs, I assume.
Playing songs.
As you do.
Great.
Xerxes has turned his silencer around and is shooting in the air.
Yeah.
Oh!
Perfect.
Naki!
Screaming for your gods.
What are you?
The gods will not answer you. You'll find no gods here. Roll for initiative. Alright, let me get rid of this Forest Night sounds. I also just want to do a new Anguish. Just sad sound. Name. Alright. Making your way up the switchbacks. Take some time. Not the fastest, not the slowest. I mean, it's definitely better than falling down the mountainside in Mountain Heart. We're trying to climb up it. Excuse. After a couple hours, kind of making your way up there, you come to an area which those of you with passives above 15 would kind of start to see these kind of lumps off to the side of the road, side of the path. A few hundred feet or so from here. But this looks to be the area. Damn it. Damn it, you got me. This looks to be the area that Stephen had described of where there were some corpses. What would you like to do?
I'd suggest to Arthur, because we don't see anything moving, right? At the moment.
Doesn't look like it.
I'd maybe ask Arthur to keep an eye out for like footprints or anything. If the two living people, maybe made their way down during the night, or just keep an eye out. as they don't just pop up and try and shoot us.
Wham!
Is that a meeting? Nice. Nice. Wow. Wow, your group is so not slowed right now at all. That's cool. Perfect. Tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact number, their size, and how long they pass through. You choose additional favorite terrain types. Awesome. Arthur, you start looking around the area, and you'll note as you were moving up the mountain to this point, you hadn't seen any signs of tracks in the least. And this kind of area, few hundred feet away or so from what looks to be these dead bodies, you see no signs of tracks. Absolutely none. Which is, to your eye, very odd. As it has been raining the past few days, so the ground is pretty wet. It's not like a downpour or anything though, so it's not as if the tracks would have been fully washed away. You would suspect that there would be some signs that you'd be able to pick up, but you don't see anything.
I relay the info.
Anna will speak up and say, when we were looking for Isabel, there were no tracks. And hearing Isabel's story, your cousin covered them up magically, or some dust. Maybe, did he shoot these people? Did he turn on the unseen for some reason? Arrow wounds, people he knew he was traveling with, and absolutely no trace, which we know he can do. Just a hypotenuse.
How many unseen bodies are there?
From here, you can make out there's over 5, but you'll probably need to get closer to know for sure. Yeah.
Not casting it, just throwing it up there.
Yep.
All right. Arthur spends a level 2. Just kidding.
All right, let's go ahead and get closer then.
I think Anna hit the nail on the head. We should all be afraid.
It's better than you.
Easy. I've got a cat.
I mean, I would say we would go up to the point where we would investigate the bodies.
Let's get up there.
Perfect.
And if there's still a green orb thing that we can see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the tree that I just kind of ignored.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, not interested.
I was doing 4 things at once, so that's on me, you guys.
As you move up to this kind of area off the path, you can make out that there are 8 figures in total lying in the grass off to the side. A number of arrow wounds, and also just kind of like slash marks, blood, kind of surrounding the scene. What you want to do with these dead men?
What color's the blood?
Oh, blue.
Isabel, check and see how long they've been dead.
Yes. Isabel, roll medicine.
want to search some bodies.
Sucks. Okay. We're getting to that level, huh? Where you have a plus 11?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're not even a bard. I don't even want to look at Saru's sheet. I literally refuse to look at Saru's.
It's okay. It's a skill that we've only used twice.
Oh, God.
So it's fine.
Don't go to any cities. Yes, Isabel, they seem to be around 2 days old. Maybe a little bit more. I think 2 is right. 1.5. Ish. There's rigor mortis. That's I've seen that on CSI or something.
Nailed it.
Thanks, guys. Wildcat.
So the timeline would add up with
These.
when Isabel met with Ruben that night.
Yes,
left.
it seems like it should add up to.
Because if they left that night,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Isabel would relay that.
Maybe not Arthur's cousin.
Stephen, as you start looking around the area, kind of investigating these corpses, there is 6 short swords, 3 longbows, kind of arrows, or short bows, apologies. Short bows, arrows. Between them all, there is 33 gold pieces, and then there are the two larger knights, kind of in full unseen plate. They have 2 great swords.
Did you say there's
and-
arrows on them too?
Yeah,
Those two died.
they are dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody want arrows?
There is a good amount of arrows.
Did any of them die from like anything other than arrows or anything weird?
As you start looking through them, you see that most of them died from kind of these well-placed arrow shots. 2 of the one knight and one of the others look to have died to wounds that look like akin to like a blade of some kind, dagger,
Okay.
short sword, hard to tell.
And the position of the arrows, are they kind of angled down as if they would have like come soaring down from the air?
No, they
Or are they straight on?
They look more straight on, like pretty direct is what you see. A few of the arrows are placed. The body is face down, and these arrows are placed in the back, and then a couple of them more kind of in the chest region, but more horizontal or perpendicular to the standing human.
So whoever shot them didn't have a height advantage. Or didn't shoot them from some vantage point.
Yeah, and looking around, kind of like looking up, like the switchbacks continue on, but you don't necessarily see any like perch or anything of that nature. Like it would be hard to shoot from kind of an area above this region.
Okay.
Like to Arthur's eye, especially, like this doesn't seem like a good ambush point or anything.
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
First of which, how many arrows are there?
There are 64 arrows in total.
Ay. I'm just gonna top off a little bit. And my second question is there a check? And if there is, may I roll the check to determine kind of the patterning of these arrows, and if there's anything he can derive from recognizing a pattern?
Yeah, roll me an Aragorn check.
Mr. DM, sir.
What do I like? Survival, maybe? No, that feels like a rangery check.
There was an error with my formula. Please try again.
The fuck?
For Aragorn.
Oh, for Aragorn check? That's too
Yeah.
bad. Well, shit.
Sorry, what'd you want, Stravel?
Yeah, I think survival.
Maybe Daddy needs that +5 to be good. God, this world.
You know, it's hard, and I think what kind of trips you up the most, just kind of in this moment, is
My
that
2 left feet.
well, yeah, nailed it. Is when you're kind of looking around, like you're looking at the arrows, you're looking at, but there's like not those normal signs of a struggle, in the sense that like there's no patterning on the ground. There's no scuff marks in the mud. There's no like broken limbs, broken branches, like
Almost as if they had the benefits of Pass Without a Trace before they were shot.
possibly.
Yes.
Maybe not even. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it could possibly be something like a Pass Without a Trace, or yeah, it's just like there is something strange about the area that just doesn't, like, man, this isn't how. It's hard for you to, you literally can't Aragorn it, because you can't, there's no small halfling feet here or whatever, like you just don't see it.
Did you know that during that scene when he kicked the helmet, he actually broke his big right toe?
Yep, broke his foot. Then they
Pretty
later
quick
made him
enough.
shoot the running scenes for Rohan. That came
It's
after
apparently
that.
like one of the most, according to the internet, that's one of the most annoying facts, because that's one of the most repeated facts of the series.
Maybe I've heard it before. I don't know. I don't remember it. So I thought it was cool,
Cool fact.
even with the dumb snort.
Is there a green orb anymore?
Roll. Roll a. Just roll me a perception check. Actually, as Anna kind of starts scanning the trees in the area. What do your elven eyes see?
You guys roll so well. Oh.
26, 22, 11, 23. Anna, as you start scanning the trees, you're not exactly sure which one Stephen mentioned, but it's being daytime, it's kind of harder to see this kind of aura of green glowing light. But there is a tree with kind of like this like splitting fork that the main trunk takes, and you can actually see this like barely visible to most eyes, but your elven eyes are making out this like very dim, like greenish, like kind of glow, kind of playing off the inside maybe of the trunk, like at the top, like as if maybe there's something like in the twisted, like forked trunk of this tree, giving off some kind of greenish light.
Anna will point it out, walk up to it, and do an Arcana check as she gets closer. She's not. Her intention, if she can't figure it out or whatever, is to walk up and touch it. So.
Yeah, as you walk up, trying to kind of like make out what this like greenish light is, as you're kind of like getting, it's hard to see into the trunk, but the closer you get, the more of the light you're seeing. And with the 22, honestly, the only thing that maybe throws you off a bit is the color, because it is like this distinct kind of green, but it looks almost more like almost akin to just the glowing light of Isabel's lantern or something, kind of coming from somewhere within the tree's like crevice.
Can Anna like reach down and try to in the crevice and try to like find what's ever down there?
Yeah, roll me a dexterity saving throw. No, sorry, I had to.
I'm going for it, so if that's what happens, it happens.
It's actually a tree mimic.
Or,
no, you.
or Winter Splinter.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You do feel around in there, and you guys all see as Anna kind of like starts like sticking her hand, and it kind of goes deeper than maybe you expect. And then you feel something. It feels like a stick or something. It's pretty smooth, and there is something in there. And as you kind of grab hold of it and start pulling it out, you start to see what looks like a longbow coming out of the tree, and the longbow is glowing this greenish light, and kind of as you pull it further out of the tree, that light slowly begins to fade and dim.
To pull it out of the tree.
What's that? Sorry.
As I pull it out of the tree, the light begins to fade. So if Anna's like holding the longbow like fully out, it's just a normal longbow.
It looks like a normal longbow, except to Isabel's eye, who recognizes the longbow as the same longbow that was pointed at her, 2 nights ago, from the man who introduced himself as the hunter. This is a golden longbow with these, or a long. Let me give you a better description of this fucking thing, because I'm losing my fucking mind apparently. Okay, it is a longbow. The center of the longbow is this golden color. It looks like gold, to be perfectly honest. And coming off of the top and bottom, these like the wings of the longbow. I don't know how you describe a longbow. It almost looks like antlers or something like that color. Looks like kind of the bone antler. And the golden part in the center is actually kind of resembles like elven faces. It's very interesting looking though. It is no longer glowing green.
As Anna pulls it out, does Isabel share?
Yeah, Isabel. That looks like if it was Reuben's longbow.
Anna will hand it. Please.
Anna will nod but hand it to Xerxes first and say, "I'm just curious what it does." You mind?
Anna, as you're kind of walking over with the bow, they're about to hand it. What languages do you speak?
Oh boy. Anna speaks Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Halfling.
There is something about the words that you begin hearing within your mind that sound familiar, though there's something strange about them. You're not understanding them. And as you're kind of reaching out and about to hand the bow to Xerxes, these words just kind of start filling your mind. And it is a soft but somewhat stern female voice that only you hear. And it sounds almost elven, but there's something strange about it, something older. There are words you're hearing that you're like, that's close, but it's not. And the voice seems to get kind of annoyed as it seems to wait for a response and doesn't receive one. And it's just like a language that you don't quite understand, just kind of talking at you in your mind.
Does it continue incessantly? Or is it like intermittent?
It's intermittent, yeah.
So Anna will go to hand it to Xerxes, her looking at Arthur and like just being like, "There's one of them to say what it is," and then stop and say, the bow's speaking to me. I would guess in Sylvan, but I'm not sure. If you give me a little bit while I'm holding it, I can figure it out. Or if someone speaks it. But it's definitely talking.
Are you hinting, Connor, that you're gonna do comprehend languages?
Yeah. As long as I've got the...
I attempt to identify it without touching it.
You have to touch it to identify it, I believe. Is this a prepared spell or are you ritually casting?
I was gonna have to ritual it up.
Dope.
So that'll take 10 minutes.
Is there anything anyone wants to do for 10 minutes?
Stare deeply at
She's like, this thing's talking to me.
Hang on, just give me 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all I need.
From where we all are, how much further up the path does it look like we have to go?
You, just from what Steven told you, and from what you can kind of see, it's probably you're probably a little over halfway. A couple hours, a couple more hours to reach the top.
Okay.
How do we think his bow got here when I think these bodies were dead when he captured Isabel?
Sorry, I don't know if the timeline was clear. It's the timeline aligns with if he were to have left that night.
Oh, got it.
And
Yeah.
this would have happened later. Yeah.
But why he left his bow? There's still another question. And where is he?
Yeah, that means to find great refuge in the academy, where he was forced to drop it.
Maybe he couldn't stop the glowing. Or maybe it talked to him like it did Anna. Arthur, do you know if your brother, cousin, knew Sylvan?
It's my brother cousin.
Love that show.
Frozen?
No, we spoke Dwarvish. That's the only foreign language we knew growing up. Unless he
Could have learned
learned after the fact.
Anna, after 10 minutes pass, during which the incessant talking does die down, eventually stopping, you hear the voice after you kind of end your concentration on the spell, speaking to you in Sylvan. Well, are you done then?
So Anna's holding the bow, and it's like, and we'll just go. And just in her normal voice, be like, "Yes, I am done. Who is this?" And she can switch to Elvish. She'll probably say it in Elvish first.
At least you speak that tongue. This is Philia Faye, and who am I speaking with?
Philia. In common, Anna will say Philia Faye. And she'll go,
That's
Anna.
Anna, it's
Anna
very
Wilfred.
nice to meet you. I'm gonna have to ask you to take me to my creator now. I'll help you along the way, but well, you see, the last person that had me, it didn't work out, and I'd really like for this one to work out. Do you happen to know anyone that can speak the old tongue? Because I'd prefer not to have to wait for you to do your magics to talk to me. If you could just hand me over to them, that would be fantastic.
Anna will look around the group and be like, anybody speak Sylvan?
Don't, but I know how to fire that thing.
Bunch of simpletons then.
I will be able to after I copy a spell down. It's the next one on my list.
Unfortunately, she'll switch back to Elvish and say, unfortunately, nobody's got the old tongue. Can I ask who your creator was?
No one then. No one. Why does this have to keep happening to me? Just over and over again. I've been a prisoner of evil for far too long. Far too long. I need you to return me to Arendor. You've heard of it, I'm sure. Arendor? Yes? My creator, her name is the Hunter Princess. The Hunter Princess Alshinray.
Is Arendor? Can you remind me what that is? Is it the Isles?
Yeah.
I don't have my.
Arendor is the archipelago. Nailed it. That is kind of overlaps with the Feywild on this plane. And if you want to roll on the name, you can roll a history check for Alshinray.
Isabel do that? Oh wait, no, she hasn't heard any of this yet. Never mind.
I mean,
LOL.
LOL.
Not sure.
Skip that day of class.
Skip that day.
Well, Anna will I don't know the name Alshinray, even though I should. And I have to confess, that my name is a little different. It is Lestriana Rylinia. Does the last name ring a bell?
I must have skipped that day in class.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know if I can get you back to Alshinray, at least not anytime soon. But I can promise that. I can promise that you won't be used for evil. Unlike what you just were. Can you tell me me how you ended up in the tree stump?
Oh,
What
I just climbed up in there, just climbed on up. Thought I'd take a little nap. No, I was placed there, though I did request it.
will look at Arthur and say, that man is the cousin of the man who just held you. We would like to know what happens to him, if at all possible.
And I would like
And
to
what?
get back to Arendor if it's all possible. I think maybe we could make each other's dreams come true. God, I've been wanting to introduce a sentient fucking item to you guys for a while. This one's got needs. I saw Nick start laughing. I just knew I had to click the button.
It was my mother's dream to get to Arendor as well. I don't know if she's alive or dead, but I would like to find her, and I would like to help get her there. That is not our next stop, or possibly even our next stop. But if you can help us, Bo, we can at least get you going that direction.
Where is your next stop?
Kestrel.
Never heard of it.
Well, we can always just leave you in the tree stump. I'm sure the next person who finds you will be just thrilled to take you to the Feywild.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, you can put me back in the stump. That'd be fine.
Do it. Dump it. It's weird with you talking out loud to no one, Anna.
Anna will look at Arthur and just say, the bow has an attitude and would like to get to Arendor. Previous owner was Alshin Ray, and well, I think she's been used to do a lot of evil. Maybe you can gain her trust, but
She can
I don't
call
seem
me
to have the
Alshin
patience.
Ray if it makes it better for her. Damn, she wants.
Anna will look at Arthur and go, do you speak Elvish?
No.
And then she'll smile, and then she'll talk to the bush. I think you and him are gonna get along famously. And then she'll hand Arthur the bow.
I love it.
Do I get anything off Alshin Ray there, Michael?
Yeah, maybe.
25 is pretty high.
Yeah. But not everybody knows everything. You are an elf.
Yeah.
That helps. So when Anna says it, there's something familiar about it. Growing up, kind of, your studies obviously more focused on the arcane than like the histories, especially histories of the elven people in particular. But there is something. It sounds more like folklore to your mind. You can't fully place like the story, but that's more of what it feels like to you. It's like, I feel like that came from like a story or something, like more folklore than anything that Steven recognizes.
Okay.
Arthur, as Anna passes you the bow, immediately inside your mind, you begin to hear a very rapid and incessant speech pattern of a female speaking what to you sounds like elven gibberish.
I'd like to cut you off right there, if I may. Do you speak the common tongue of Dwarvish? Or Orcish, if you prefer?
You can tell that the voice that does continue in the same tongue has a bit more of a disgusted air about it after you said that, and seems a bit more incisive about something.
I can even speak Abyssal, if it pleases you. Though I heard you've quite finished with performing evil. But it's up to you. You can either talk to me or not.
The same incessance continues.
Well, let's see if I tickle your strings, what you'll do. And he will rip a shot real fast and see if it works.
Okay.
Does it?
Let me just check something. Oh boy. Yes, you are able to rip a shot from the longbow, just kind of into a tree, out into the distance, wherever you like. It does happen.
Well then, seems despite your voluminous amount of thoughts and talks, you'll still do my bidding. I don't mean to be your master, and I want you to be my slave. I would appreciate if you might speak in the common tongue, but if that's not accessible to you, then you might as well just say nothing at all.
Right as you say nothing at all, it just stops. And it stops with a like kind of a and that's what you get from the bow. For now.
That'll do. That'll do.
Okay.
Butte, what would you like to do?
Take the feedback stock.
Don't know where it's coming from.
I'll hit myself first. It's not me.
It's probably Bartlett, who is not there right now. He probably set his mic down. And now it's not going. So there we go. We've done.
Keep going.
Yep, let's keep going.
Beautiful.
Sorry to interrupt. Did Arthur feel anything special when ripping that shot? Like it had any sort of abilities? Or maybe it was withholding from them, but okay.
Yeah, it's a balanced weapon. But other than that, nothing special.
I don't think the bow's gonna do anything. If you want Xerxes to take a quick peek at it, I might be able to tell you more.
Xerxes, you think you can handle this thing real quick?
Oh, I'm no archer, but I'll give it a shot.
If there's anyone that can handle a woman with an attitude, it's absolutely this guy.
There goes Preston's political career.
All of us are slowly. Connor and I have been around a long time. I will attempt to identify longbow.
Yeah, so as you are handed it, it does start. attempting to talk to you as well. In Sylvan. So you too hear this voice as you
He would just say, I'm sorry, I don't understand you, but it sounds like you may understand the Elven tongue. So he'll say all that in Elvish and say, I'm just gonna take a look at you for a minute.
As you speak Elvish, Elven, whatever it is, at the bow, the voice that was kind of rapidly hitting, it does at least take the volume down a bit and seems to listen to you a little bit more keenly, but then does say a few things to you, and then just quiets as you identify the bow. Casting identify on the bow. It looks like this.
That's cool.
Oh, I think I can make good use of this.
How do you say that, Michael? Philippe?
Philia Fey.
And Arthur, you've still got that arrow slaying humanoid if you really need to take somebody down someday.
I do. I really do.
Xerxes would say in Elven, Philia Fey, do you have a current target?
There's some words said to you in Sylvan.
He kind of will get a little frustrated and say, Anna, ask it if it has a current target. He throws the bow to her.
Easy.
Philia Fey, do you have a current target?
A current sworn enemy? No, I don't. But I feel like I'm about to with this group. They just keep passing me around.
Is there any more information you would be willing to volunteer before you go back to somebody who both doesn't understand what you're saying and has no interest in listening to you speak?
Oh, well, at some point you'll have interest. That I know. If you want to bring me along, you can bring me along.
Ask her if she responds to the wishes of the one that carries her, or if she can act of her own accord.
Do you respond to the wishes of the one who carries you?
Oh, I can shoot arrows if that's what you're asking.
Do you have a say in who their sworn enemy is, in your words? Or do they choose?
It's more of a mutual thing.
So
you scratch my bow, I'll scratch yours.
So you were a mutual party to evil, is what you were telling me, and you really enjoyed it.
Oh, I very much enjoyed my time with the previous owner. Yes, it was grand.
Ask her what my cousin promised her.
Did you speak to the previous owner? Did he speak back to you?
Oh, I can tell you that when I reach the shores of Arendelle. But, you don't seem to want to help me very much, so why would I help you?
Want to know what my cousin promised her? He cannot have given her anything that I can't.
Anna will switch back to common and say, I don't. She's being difficult, but I think if you choose a sworn enemy, she will obey. But you can't promise it.
Yes, you
If anybody has a good
definitely
idea
can't
to-
promise it. You hear in your head.
And she definitely understands common, just so you know.
What the hell does my life come to? 6 months ago, I was back in Briarwood. Things weren't great, but you adapt. And now today, on the slopes of a mountain, watching a bunch of people argue with a bow. Roscoe, have you heard a story like this before?
No, I haven't heard one, but I'll have great fun being able to tell this one. That's for sure. What a good.
I can only imagine, Roscoe. You must promise to let me be there at the first telling.
You know what, Roscoe? If you can cast comprehend languages, why don't you and Philippe have a conversation tonight? Maybe if Arthur lets you.
May I have the bow
I'm
again,
sure.
please?
Yeah, and Anna will hand it back.
All right. You can either talk to me, or you can go inside this special quiver I've got. It's not a euphemism for my ass.
There are no words spoken.
In you go. And he shoves Philippe into the quiver of Elhana, into the largest compartment.
Make a charisma saving throw.
Ooh. It's a -1, so nice.
That checks.
As you move to put the bow in the quiver, your arm just kind of like gets rigid and doesn't seem to want to allow the bow to go in there, and then you start to think, maybe I'll just sling it over my shoulder.
You're a feisty lassie. Am I compelled to put it over my shoulder?
Yeah, you are.
I'd still like to know what my cousin promised you. I can promise you there wasn't anything that I can't do as well, if not more. I've got those that I'm obliged to, but I've held much of this land, and I can take you wherever that land is that you call home.
The bow says nothing to you, nothing more.
Just do.
But you do get the sense of contentment as she is placed over your shoulder.
Can she get dropped into my characterness?
You should be able to pull an oath bow, maybe, from the. I don't know if it'll pull from the compendium or not, but it is an attunement item. Yeah.
Sure.
So you would need to spend some time with it before it would be able to do anything.
I think I'm only attuned to the spear.
Excuse me.
unfocal.
What's the plan?
Let's keep going.
Will this oath bow drop it in my character thing or just in my character sheet?
I don't know.
So you just put it in the character sheet, which is fine. I can draw with it.
Does it? Can you tell it that it has an attack? Maybe.
It's less good than your current bow.
+7 GTFO.
Well, it doesn't. That doesn't have your
Not
plus.
including my +2.
It's not including your +2 for everything, but it should be currently the exact same as a normal longbow.
Okay. I just want to know the magic words to speak when the time comes.
I'll put the that sheet in your guy for now.
I don't think it's tied to.
If you type Oathbow into the compendium, it's in there, just not the name. So you could at least drag that over and then change it, just so you've got it all.
Sure.
But Oathbow's in the compendium. As we keep going.
Up the hill you go.
Yep.
Trying to find the sentient gun.
You know that guy's gonna be a real son of a bitch.
Lord help us.
Hey, I'm a gun. What do you want from me? Hey.
How about a musical instrument?
Well, see, there was that take, but I was gonna go with like, fuck. What's a redneck impersonation?
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah,
Just lost it.
that'd be good.
Y'all rootin', tootin', shootin' over here?
Did y'all know an election was stolen? We gotta go get it back.
We gotta stop the steal. Yeah, that's good.
I didn't realize I needed to build an AR-15.
That's good. Yeah.
You are all uninvited from the next crawfish bowl.
I was waiting for it.
Go Tigers.
Don't worry about the AR-15, Nate. You don't have to build one. You can just buy one at the Briarwood Walmart.
There's a pretty dope subreddit called Liberal Gun Owners, and I like
You
that
know
one.
Briarwood doesn't have a Walmart.
Briarwood definitely has a Walmart. Maybe a magical Costco.
I think Briarwood has.
The Target Town,
Could be a Target Town.
where I'm at. There's no Walmarts.
What song is that?
I love the Fantasy Costco. How's the Fantasy Costco song? Briarwood's got one, maybe two. It's a big city.
To wet my pants. I will be right back.
He's that excited about the bow. He's gonna pee himself.
Yes.
See if you can use it. Beautiful. I actually have to pee too, so that seems good. Let's do it. Let's do a quick urination station, and then we'll see what you find at the top of this hill. Oi, oi, oi. That time you found a sentient longbow? Really wish my moon worked. I don't know why I don't see it. Anger coursing through me.
Quite odd.
It broke. Load image. Open image in a new tab. Wikimedia error. Huh. What that, like, where it's pulling that from. Very strange. Don't really want to dig into that code and figure that out. Okay. So, friends, after your encounter with Philiofe, you'll make your way up the rest of the way up the mountain. Load.
Nate, are you at Connor's house?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I was taking my Zoom meetings today, and I was like, somebody was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, you don't think that this is my wife and this is my baby?"
That'd be a fun thing to do to coworkers. Like, get married, have a child, don't tell any of them for years.
I mean, I got the monogrammed in, so that's fitting.
Yeah. You just tell them that, like, oh, they just heard me wrong. They were supposed to do an N, but they just. So I just
You haven't had my wife and child on my insurance policy all this time?
Oh, boy. All right. So you make your way up the rest of the switchbacks, which finally come to an end where you begin to see a little further than what Stephen's eye even saw. Because as you kind of start to crest that, the hill, what you see is what looks to be this beautiful, or at least once beautiful, courtyard that had been filled with bushes and flowers, and Isabel probably remembers it pretty clearly. The courtyard's in front of the Kestrel Academy. Though, unlike the map, which I'm about to place you on, which are green and bountiful, this is a bit more fall and, more little dead looking trees, a little shabby, overgrown. About 100 feet from kind of the edge of the switchbacks, where you had just come up, is a large structure of the Kestrel Academy. The outer facade. don't really mind the sheer cliff face that just drops into nothingness, because I have to work with what I got. You got to work with the maps I've got here. I can only do so much. But you see this stone facade that is kind of like built into the mountain that kind of continues to go up a little bit. There are peaks, not too high above from where you currently are. Before you is a archway here, which just says Kestrel Academy opponent. Behind you is, this is all switchbacks and shit. You can walk out here. It's not really that big of a deal. Even though it will be terrifying to move your character over there, because it does look like a very far fall. But you can ignore that shit. Dotted around are all these stone statues. Here. Just kind of like dotted about the yellowing grass and fallen leaves. The front structure here, where you see this door, there are 8 alcoves, each containing a large statue, which you see here, 4 on each side flanking the door. These statues depict what look like robed mages, like elderly male mages. Each looks a bit different than the next. Each of them kind of look like they're in the process of casting a spell or something. And these guys are 25 feet tall. They're big ass statues. In between the innermost statues is a large staircase leading up to a large arched doorway, which is currently shut. And that is what you see on the surface level from here. What here?
Slowly approach, unless someone says otherwise.
Fine with me.
Yeah.
Do these statues that we're walking by, are they anything in particular? Do they look like they're actually statues, or do they look like they were, I guess, are they in statue posture?
They're probably petrified.
Look
probably
like they're,
petrified people.
that are...
Yeah, but do they look like they just were going about their daily business, or?
Roll investigation or perception, depending on if you're getting up close or what everyone's doing. So Isabel, which one are you looking at?
Guess I didn't pick one. Just one of the random statues in the courtyard. That looks like, we're guessing, this petrified person.
And then Steven, are you hanging back?
No, I just wasn't paying attention.
What is everyone's passive perception?
15.
14.
Lower than
So
every
sad.
number everyone said.
16, I think. Did it go up?
It should have.
It may have, yeah.
Should have with your
Yeah.
proficiency bonus.
Well, it depends.
if
you hit level 8, it went up.
Definitely low.
Well, I mean, yeah, as long as you didn't multi-class.
it's on your character sheet,
Top left corner.
bottom left corner.
Proficiency.
Passive.
Bonus?
Oh no, it definitely says 16. I just always thought it was 15.
Boom.
Then yeah, it went up.
You were 15 because you were one ahead of us always.
So as Saru kind of starts looking at this first one here, And Isabel kind of starts walking up to this guy here. Arthur kind of flanking out, as he's wont to do. Saru, these look like really good statues to you. Nobody saw his roll. It was a 12. It was whispered on accidente. Arthur and Isabel, you kind of, as you're just walking up to it, immediately recognize that, like, if this is a statue, it's incredible. The craftsmanship, as you're kind of getting closer, it's like crazy. The folds in the fabric of the shirt and all that shit. I mean, it's great. It's gorgeous. It's insane. Which is either magically done to make a magic statue, or this is petrification in some way, shape, or form. Like, that's fairly obvious to you as you guys are kind of overlooking these things. Xerxes, as you start walking up, something else catches your attention, and it is movement. It is movement from the far right most statue against the wall, the large 25-foot tall statue of a mage. That's very good. You see the statue kind of like, first you see just few little speckles of dust, and then you see its kind of hands that were kind of like outright slowly start to drop. Xerxes, you're the one who picks this up. And picking up from next week, because it's 10/11, and now seems like a good time to cut it. Picking up from next week, we'll be starting there as one of the very large statues in the back begins to move, and Xerxes. Xerxes is the boy who notices.
The statue itself?